Oh man, this is awesome. Gaming has peaked right here. I don't think anything can ruin this moment. The world is over. The Nintendo 3DS and another gaming console with two screens, they closed their eShops on March 27th, 2023, and to my surprise, the world is still spinning. Weird. To some, this may mark the end of things. However, is it really the end of things? I don't think so. I think the 3DS lives on in many ways. So let's talk about what remains of the Nintendo 3DS. I think it's important we start with the obvious. The physical games. Physical games still live on in the Nintendo 3DS. It's not like they're going anywhere until the bank decides to repossess my copy of Moko Moko Friends. I will not let that happen. Physical games, sure, in theory, may die one day, or maybe it's not even a theory and I just like to live in my little play pretend land, but I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. However, where they are going is through the roof in prices. Prices of 3DS games have gotten ridiculous. And just the reality of physical media, it seems like these days, where money I mean, watching how some of these games have climbed is honestly really scary and makes me worry for the future of things like the Switch. However, there is an alternative to the problem with physical games being so rare and expensive. I just can't quite put my finger on the name of it. Another thing too with these physical games, and the digital ones at that as well, that they can still do everything at the moment. All their online functionality, aside from downloading DLC, is still there for a good majority of them. And I say a good majority of them because honestly, I can't check every single game. However, a lot of them are still up, and I would do that now while you can. Play that Triforce Heroes online while you can. Play those Mario Kart 7 matches while you can, because one day they probably won't be there, and the notice will probably not be as generous as compared to the eShop, as these online services do not generate Nintendo money. They make them probably lose money at this point. I hear the cries, I hear the cries. What about the digital games? They are still there. They are still there after the eShop closure, and you can even go back and re-download them on the eShop if you forgot to reinstall something. Now, I would reinstall whatever you want to, because one day, similar to playing games online, who knows when Nintendo will shut down that aspect. It might be never if we're lucky, but being realistic, it'll be someday. I don't know if it'll be soon. It could be right now. That would suck. That'd actually really suck. Though, other than re-downloading the games, the sad fact is that there's no other way to pick up a lot of titles anymore due to digital-only releases. From indie projects, DLC, and even some of Nintendo's own games. It's just the sad reality of the advancement of digital media that things like this are bound to happen. It's honestly a big reason to dislike the move to all digital, frankly, but same time, both digital and physical do have their problems. So what's better? Having to pay $8 for some random Scrimblow game digitally, but then once the shop closes, the physical copy is now $500? It's really a lose-lose for everyone at the end of the day. The most normal people probably give up. Or maybe there is another way to play the games I just cannot think of. Some series saw all of their life on the 3DS, or a vast majority of their life between the 3DS and DS. Things like 3D Classic series, or got NES games remade to make use of 3DS and 3D and overall reinvent them. Pushmo and even Mario and Luigi RPG series probably are all dead and stuck on there. I would love to be wrong, but given the circumstance at the moment, it seems like it. Sure, the Mario and Luigi series is on the Switch's online at the moment, but I have high doubts we'll see any new entries. And that's also a Game Boy game. Same goes for big entries in series like Shin Megami Tensei. Shin Megami Tensei 4 is stuck on the 3DS. Persona Q1 and 2 stuck on the 3DS. Practically every mainline and spin-off Pokemon game are stuck on this hardware, which is really sad, honestly, that even big series have just big entries stuck on the 3DS. However, some games actually live on past the 3DS DS era and moved on to the Switch. A big one I can think of lately is the Etrian Odyssey series. The one that I think most people forgot made it off the 3DS and onto the Switch is Yokai Watch, which, in my opinion, seems to have become quickly a beloved cult classic over the last few years. However, none of the games added made it outside of Japan, which is really a shame because Yokai Watch 1 Remake and Yokai Watch 4, especially to me on the Switch, look really awesome. And hopefully with the resurgence of level 5, we will see these someday and continue the series as it is ironically dormant on the Switch at the moment instead of being dormant on the 3DS. I think honestly, in conclusion, nothing is really ever dead unless you choose to let it die. The thing the 3DS will always have going for it is having a fan base that is totally sane Nintendo fans. That is really where the 3DS will continue to live on. See, for me, the Nintendo 3DS was not my first console, but for a lot of people it probably was. And for me, although it wasn't my first console, it's the one that I kind of almost feel like it's the first console I truly understood. I grew up with a GameCube, and I did also get a DS, and I was a little too young to totally get it. I did play games, and I even finished a couple, but until the 3DS really entered my life, it was then I kind of started to get the joys of gaming. I have a lot of memories with things like playing Smash Bros. 3DS at school with friends and waiting for that little green light to blink in the corner indicating I got a street pass and maybe I can finish that puzzle in my plaza, to going to midnight releases, and just remembering great games on the system. It's not like that goes away with a server closing for a digital storefront. And I think that's the important part to note. I get we're losing something, but I feel that with the store closing, people feel like it's the end of everything. And it doesn't have to be the end of everything. It's only if you choose it to be the end of everything that it is. The 3DS is now realistically incomplete. It did lose something, and it's not fair to not acknowledge it lost something. But I think and feel that we should all do a little more gaming. And if you excuse me, I got some gaming to do. Peace out, everyone.